U.S. Coast Guard had to push Iran off of it. The U.S. Coast Guard. Qatar Mali fired 2 volleys of shots with a .50 caliber machine gun for a total of approximately 30 warning shots before the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy boats broke contact. The Coast Guard ship was part of the formation escorting the USS Georgia into the Strait on Monday. This is CBS, fakenews.com. The U.S. Coast Guard cutter fired approximately 30 warning shots at Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy, also known as the IRGCN, boats fast approaching a U.S. naval formation in the Strait of Hormuz on Monday. Pentagon spokesperson John Kirby said a group of 13 Iranian fast attack boats conducted unsafe and unprofessional maneuvers. 2 of the boats broke off from the 13 and approached at high speed in excess of 32 knots, getting as close as 150 yards to 2 U.S. vessels, according to the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet. So guess what? Iran blames America. The Pentagon said on Monday the U.S. Coast Guard ship Mali fired about 30 warning shots after 13 fast boats from the Revolutionary Guards. The Revolutionary Guards. We're up against the Revolutionary Guards. Navy came close to it, and other American Navy vessels in the Strait of Hormuz at the mouth of the Gulf. A Revolutionary Guard statement accused U.S. naval ships of unprofessional behavior, such as flying helicopters, firing flares, aimless and provocative shooting. What are you doing flying helicopters, firing flares? It'd be better for the Americans to avoid unprofessional behavior and not endanger the security of the Persian Gulf by obeying the rules and regulations of the sea. That's what the Iranian media. Pentagon spokesperson John Kirby said on Monday the Iranian vessels had been acting very aggressively. It's the second time within the last month that U.S. military vessels have been doing this, doing that. Oh, good old Iran. Where is Iran? Isn't Iran like over by Egypt somewhere? Iran. Are we going to go to war with Iran? That was like one of the axis of evils, right? One of the 3 axis of evil countries. There was Iraq, Iran, North Korea. And we only, our successful invasion and occupation of Iraq, it's the only one. So North Korea and Iran still the evil axis of evil or something. Or is it? Wait, hold on. Oh, no, maybe Israel, Saudi Arabia, and the U.S. is the axis of evil. Who cares? It's kind of your vantage point, right? It's all about perspective. American foreign policy. You suck. You suck, okay? Hey, American foreign policy. The Nazis called. They want their fucking playbook back. U.S. Coast Guard ship fired around 30 warning shots. So we're talking about there's an Israeli delegation. They're killing fucking Palestinians. And you got the Iranians, fast boats. What the fuck? There's the Iran nuclear agreement, which Iran wants to get into. I don't think we should re-enter into the old one. We should re-enter into a new one. But I think Israel doesn't want that to happen because we can't get along with Iran, right? That'd be good for the fucking world if we started diplomatic relations with any of these fucking... That's like the only good thing Donald Trump did was open up diplomatic relations with North fucking Korea. So let's CNN, fake news according to, the old president. 30 warning shots, a large group of Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy. Why? Just the Iran Navy. The Iran's Navy. Their fast boats conducted unsafe and unprofessional maneuvers near U.S. naval vessels in the Strait of Hormuz on Monday. Pentagon spokesman John Kirby Saeed. 6 U.S. Navy vessels were escorting a guided missile submarine. Wait a second. Well, maybe that's why Iran didn't want. 6 U.S. Navy vessels were escorting a guided missile submarine, the USS Georgia. The USS Georgia. When they encountered a group of 13 IRGCN fast attack boats, Old John Kirby told reporters the boats approached the U.S. Navy vessels at a high speed, coming almost close to the 150 yards. After the U.S. tried all the appropriate and established procedures involving hip blast, bridge-to-bridge, radio transmission, other ways of communicating. What? Then they fired the 30 warning shot. What the hell is a hip blast? Hip blast, just, some rock and roll, some hip-hop, and bridge-to-bridge radio transmission, bridge-to-bridge. I guess that's like to span the whole spectrum, huh? To span the whole spectrum. Radio, what is it? Bridge-to-bridge radio transmission in other ways, and then they broke contact. So bridge-to-bridge radio transmission. Yes, that's clearly what I meant, Google. Don't read what I typed. Read what I intended to type. Blast injuries and heterotopic ossification. Hip blast? What the fuck's a hip blast? Some hip blast. Google don't know what the hell a hip blast is, so CNN, fake news. Fake news. How to conduct a bridge-to-bridge inspection, bridge-to-bridge communication procedure. This is 47 CFR 80.331. Vessels subject to the Bridge-to-Bridge Act transmitted on the designated navigational frequency must conduct communications in a format similar to those given below. This is the name of the vessel. My position is blah, 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 out to blah, 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 out, vessel off. This is blank, off. I plan to blank, over. Yeah, okay. How to conduct a bridge-to-bridge inspection. Every power-driven vessel 20 meters or over in length while navigating. Station required. Inspection of station. Applicability. The Bridge-to-Bridge Act and the regulations of this part apply to the following. I don't think it applies. Gaza airstrikes killed 20, actually it's 26. So Israel's killed 26 Palestinians so far, and doesn't look like they're going to fucking stop. I think that there's a big thing at the temple on Monday, and then property, there's always the settlers, the colonizers are always stealing property. So I think it's just powder keg. I think just two motherfuckers living side by side, one not treating the other correct, and then, just powder keg, just fucking pissed off at the bullshit oppression. So, 30 shots. Okay, so what's going on with U.S. and Iran? Iran, let's see, not the warning shots, Iran-Contra. There was a time, apparently, they're part of the axis of evil, but Ronald Reagan loved Iran. Ronald Reagan gave Iran a bunch of weapons. The Iran-Contra affair is all about, Ronald Reagan for the Contras in Nicaragua, was it? So, popularized in Iran as the McFarlane affair. Okay, so the McFarlane affair, the Iran-Contra scandal. Simply Iran-Contra is a political scandal in the U.S. occurred during the second term of the Reagan administration. Senior administration officials secretly facilitated the sale of arms to the Khomeini government of the Islamic Republic of Iran, which is the subject of an arms embargo. The administration hoped to use the proceeds of the arms sale to fund the Contras in Nicaragua. Under the Boland Amendment, further funding of the Contras by the government had been prohibited by Congress. So, well, that's Ronald Reagan breaking the goddamn law. No, is it not, right? Government said, oh, you can't do the Boland Amendment, right? You can't give money. You can't give money to the Contras in Nicaragua. You can't give weapons to Iran. No, you can't give weapons to Iran, and you can't give money to the Contras in Nicaragua. Ronald Reagan didn't give a fuck. He was like, you know what? I know I'm not allowed to do either one, but what if I'd do both at the same time. The official justification for the arms shipment was that they were part of an operation to free 7 American hostages being held in Lebanon by Hezbollah, paramilitary group with Iranian ties connected to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Some within the Reagan administration hoped the sales would influence Iran to get Hezbollah to release the hostages. However, the first arms sales authorized to Iran were in 1981, prior to the American hostages having been taken in Lebanon. The plan was later complicated in late 1985 when Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North of the National Security Council diverted a portion of the proceeds from the Iranian weapons sales to fund the Contras, a group of anti-Sandinista rebels in the insurgency against the socialist government of Nicaragua. Well, we can't have a socialist government in Nicaragua. Sandinistas, what are the Sandinistas? Socialist political party, Nicaragua. Its members are called Sandinistas. Bernie Sandinistas? In both English and Spanish, the party is named after Augusto Cesar Sandino. Oh, Augusto Cesar Sandino. Oh, Sandino. So what's the point? What's the point is, Iran-Contra, you sold weapons, Ronald Reagan, to Iran so you can give money to the Contras in Nicaragua. Ronald Reagan, you're also the motherfucker that gave weapons to bin Laden, said that they're freedom fighters. Which, that's good in terms of fighting imperialism, but you gave blowback, right? Oops. Ronald Reagan gave bin Laden weapons. Who thought, who knew that was gonna bite us in the ass? And then, Nelson Mandela. Ronald Reagan said that Nelson Mandela was a terrorist. So Ronald Reagan just really got a lot of fucking shit wrong all over the place. Right, just the anti-communist fucking bullshit, Grenada, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Guatemala. Ronald Reagan was invading all these fucking countries in Latin America without congressional approval, because we're a premier empire, do whatever the fuck we want, who gives a fuck, right? Augusto Sandino, Nicaraguan revolutionary, leader of a rebellion against the U.S. occupation of Nicaragua. Despite being referred to as a bandit by the U.S. government, his exploits made him a hero throughout much of Latin America, where he became a symbol of resistance to American imperialism. Well, shit. That's, Jesus Christ, America. We gotta win hearts and minds. I'm on the side of the Sandinistas, socialist government, fighting against the imperial. Remember the American Revolution, when we overthrew our British imperialist oppressors? It turns out the rest of the world don't like British, English, fork-tongued, colonizing oppressors either. Turns out they don't like that shit. It turns out freedom is a universal. So Gaza. Fucking Israel's killing Gaza right now. I heard 2 Israeli women were killed, so it's somewhat balanced, but 26 Palestinians have been killed, and then they're both fucking, Hamas is firing rockets off into the, and then they're fucking targeting buildings and blowing buildings up. But this is about Iran. So where were we going with warning shots, 31? Yeah, so come on, America, Iran, just stay the fuck away from each other. I mean, Israel doesn't want us to re-enter the Iran nuclear agreement. Iran blames the U.S. ship warning shots incident in the Gulf. I don't know what. Iran-Contra, huh? Remember back in the good old days when we loved Iran so much? We're like, hey, Iran, you want some weapons? Hey, Iran, you need some nukes? Hey, Iran, you want some AR-15s and shit? We'll give you some weapons, give us some money, we'll give it to the Contras. Oliver North, don't worry, it'll just be Oliver North will be the point man, don't worry. Yeah, so, I mean, it's better that we were, like, nicer to Iran, but then they give them weapons to release the hostages. That means you negotiated with but then we were on the right side with the revolution. We were on the right side with the French Revolution. Can we all just get along? Iran, America. 30 warning shots. Is that too much? Is that not enough?